Hey, it's Lockie with a review of the 2024 Capita Black Snowboard of Death. This is one of the boards that's been in Capita's line for a long time. It's an all-mountain, free-ride sort of board. And although there is now the Mega Death, which is an upgraded version of the Black Snowboard of Death, it doesn't mean that this board's lacking in anything. I actually think I prefer it to the Mega Death. If you want to read my review of that board, I have it on snowboardrobot.com. So this is still a very high-end board in construction, but especially in how it feels when you ride it. It has the Alpine V1 camber profile, which has a few things going on, but it's mainly traditional camber. So there is a regular camber section under your feet, rocker or reverse camber in the nose of the board, and a small flat to rocker section in the tail. The idea is that the larger camber section will give the board decent pop and stability overall, while the rocker nose helps float and powder and smooths out the start of turns, while the flat section in the tail gives you a little bit of forgiveness when things don't go perfectly right. The core is a mixture of poplar and paulownia wood, as well as a bunch of recycled PET plastic sections. There are a bunch of other additives in there, and it has Triax fiberglass, so 3 directions of fibers on the top and bottom of the core, which makes it torsionally, or when you twist the board, fairly stiff. It has a very fast base and a nice structure. Capita rate the board as having a flex rating of 6.5 out of 10, but it does feel a little bit stiffer than that to me. In general, I find that most Capita boards I've ridden are rated down lower than I would expect, compared to other brands. It has a little bit of a setback stance and a progressive side cut with a little death grip bump in the middle of the board. I was riding the 159cm Black Snowboard of Death at Mount Hotham in Australia with Union Atlas Pro bindings. I wear size 9.5 Vans infused boots in medium bindings with a relatively narrow stance. I'm 6 foot tall and weigh about 155 pounds or 70 kilos. I'd ridden this board after riding the Mega Death, so there'll be a couple of comparisons between these two as they share the same shape and profile. The Black Snowboard of Death is fast. The sintered base is quick and you can hear the structure whizzing in the slushy snow. I think that the flex of the board is a little stiffer than Capita described it, but it isn't super stiff. It's still easy to move around, doesn't feel like I'm trying to flex a plank, but there is more than enough stiffness, especially in the tail of the board. When things go wrong, I can count on it being solid enough to help me ride away when I probably would have washed out if I was riding on a softer board. The edge hold is solid, which is what you'd expect from a board like this that has an overall cambered profile. It has a little death grip lump in the middle of the side cut, but I can only assume that that's helping a little bit. Doesn't seem to be anything super noticeable. The pop is good. The tail pushes back hard. The turns are fine. Doesn't seem to take any noticeable effort at low or high speed to get the board to do what I want. Nothing to complain about. Black Snowboard of Death, it's fast, light, and solid, and it's an easy choice if you want a capable all-mountain board. If you're an intermediate or better rider, I think that you'll be able to get a lot out of it. It isn't a scary board that takes a lot of work to get the most out of it, but if you push it, it can handle it fine. It's sort of overshadowed by the new Mega Death, though that's just because the Mega Death is extra crazy. It has the same shape, profile, it's just lighter and faster again, for a pretty big price jump. The Mega Death has a ton of carbon, a fancy core, and is by far the fastest board I've ever been on, though I would still probably choose the Black Snowboard of Death over it. Black Snowboard of Death I found to be a little bit damper and a bit more solid feeling overall. If you have any questions on the Black Snowboard of Death or the Mega Death, leave them in the comments below. And if you're looking at buying any snowboard gear this season, buying through the links in the description help me out, and you can visit snowboardrobot.com for more detailed written reviews. Thanks for watching.